Good morning, boys and girls. It's Miss Lauper, and today we are working with naming fractions on a number line labeled 0 to 1. I have my learning target and success criteria listed out here, and I'll review that really quickly. So our learning target is I can learn to place and compare fractions on a number line. So we're still working with fractions, and instead of partitioning shapes, we're working on our number lines. And then our success criteria is I'm successful when I can place various fractions on a number line. So we're taking fractions and labeling them where they're supposed to be, as well as comparing fractions on a number line. So we're talking about which one's bigger, which one's greater than, finding things that are equivalent or equal. And we're doing all of that today in these videos that you'll be watching, and it will be also included in our task card assignment for today. Okay, so on your task cards today, you're going to have a couple questions that look like this, where it already has the dot given to you, but then it asks you for an equivalent fraction. And I'm going to show you how to do that in two different ways. So the first step that we have to do is obviously figure out what this fraction is, okay? And we can do that by counting our hops to see our denominator or how many pieces we have. So let's see. For my denominator, my total number of pieces, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 pieces. And then to find my numerator, my top number, or my parts, I just look at the dot, and it's on spot 1. So I know my fraction right now is 1/4. But now I have to find something that's equivalent or equal to that fraction. You can do that by a couple of different ways. I'm just going to go ahead and show you 2 different ways today. One thing you can do is by taking these numbers and multiplying them by the same thing. So for an example, if I would multiply the top number by 2 and the bottom number by 2, I would get an equivalent fraction. So 1 times 2 is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. So 2/8 and 1/4 are equivalents or equal. Okay? Now, you can also do another picture underneath it or on your scratch paper to get an equivalent fraction. So I would make sure that my line is exactly the same as the top. So I'm going to have 0 to 1 labeled down over here. And I'm going to make sure my marks are the same on the bottom. So I'm going to draw my same tick marks on the bottom. So go straight down. All right, and right now I have the same exact line as I do on top. Now I'm going to take each section and I'm going to split each section again into half. So I'm adding an extra tick mark between each part. So here's my first section, I add an extra line. Here's my second section, I'm adding an extra tick mark. I'm adding an extra tick mark, and I'm adding an extra tick mark. Now, if I take my dot and I move it down to the same exact spot, see how they're on top of each other? Now my new fraction will be something that's equivalent to 1/4. So again, we can count the number of hops that we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 for my denominator, my total number of parts. And then up top, my numerator would be 1, 2. Okay, so this is 2 different ways for you to plot your fractions and to find something equivalent. You can multiply straight across by the same number, or you could draw an additional line and split up that way. These are 2 different ways to find equivalent fractions on a number line.